Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jason and you're watching Jason Jensen Trains. In today's video, we are back working on our HO scale layout. Now, if you've watched the channel for any length of time, you know that I'm also building a G scale sci-fi layout in the next room. And going back and forth between the two layouts has allowed me to keep my energy level pretty high, because in the past, just working on HO scale, I would have periods of time where I may get tired of it or just a little burned out, so I would take a break. Now when that happens, I just go and work on my G scale layout. So going back and forth has been just such a pleasure because I'm able to keep my energy level up and it allows me to keep building and to be creative. Now the sci-fi layout is set 3 billion years in the future from this layout. So my plan is to take some of the key structures from this layout and build them on the sci-fi layout, just making them look futuristic. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and go back and watch some of those previous videos. There's a lot of great tips and techniques in both the G scale and the HO scale videos that can really be applied to any scale. All right, well, in today's video, we're going to be working on the other side of the layout, and we're going to be laying down foam to build up our land just like we did on this side, and then we'll cut out where we want our water to go. All right, well, like always, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. Okay, so in order to get our styrofoam put down, we're going to need to remove most of this. We're going to start in that corner back there and work our way this direction until we get to the end. And I have 2 of these rolling carts, so we'll put structures on here as we need to. Then we can get our styrofoam glued in place. We'll be using liquid nails, and I'll show you that in a second. It was important for me to get a visualization of how I wanted it to look. So it was important to get all the structures that I have in place where I want them, to know where to put the styrofoam and where I could put water. So I have photographed this really well so that I know sort of how it goes back in place. I want to share with you my thought process on this section right here. Now, here is the track plan, and as you can see, there was water right here that curved this direction back towards the corner. Now, I have changed that because I noticed that when you walk into this area, you would be looking directly back into that curve. And I was going to put a mirror back in there, but it still would be hard to create that illusion of having it look like it just goes off into the distance. So I decided to turn the curve going this way. I can still put a mirror back here, but I just thought it would be better because most people are coming from this direction and looking this way at it. So to have it go off that way, it's just going to look better, I think. Now, this is too high. It's probably only going to go to like right there, but this was just to give me a visual of the direction that I want to go. And we have a level up here. I don't know how high this is, but you can see it's pretty high. And then we have track, 2 tracks that go across here. So I thought this is just a possibility of having a bridge that is split in the center and raises. so that large boats can go back through here, and then this will be buildings back here, but you'll go underneath those buildings. Now, I still haven't decided on that bridge yet, but over the years I have collected parts for bridges. This is from garage sales and just visiting different hobby shops and getting stuff on sale. But in here, they're all basically steel girders to make up bridges. So again, I'm just always trying to pick up stuff. Even if I see a box at a garage sale that has a bunch of train stuff in it, I'll buy it and try to salvage as much as I can from the box, because I just never know when I'm actually going to use it. Now, over on this section, to get us up to this height, you'll see I have these buildings here. So we'll have an entire wall using these buildings, and then we'll put more brick buildings up on top of that to get us up to that level. Now, in this corner, this all goes uphill, and there'll be very tall buildings up here. Now, years ago, this white foam was the cheapest foam that you could buy. So cheap that you could go to construction sites and they would give you large chunks of it. As a matter of fact, all the white styrofoam that you see on my layout now was pretty much free. That is not the case anymore. This has gotten pretty expensive, along with wood. But I did buy enough sheets to finish this side of the layout and to build landforms. So I have enough styrofoam to finish the layout now. Now, I recommend with this styrofoam, peel that off. And there is a clear piece on the other side. It takes a little bit of work, but you probably want to clear that off. Grab my Sharpie. Now, the water along the front here is 7 inches in. So I need to measure that. Now we'll cut 2 of these that shape. So I'll be cutting the styrofoam with this tool right here. And this tool, you can snap those off when it starts to get dull. So you just snap each one off. And I bought this from Home Depot. Now I wanted to show you, I split this here. And I'll glue that in place right there. So I'm building the layout in sections in case someday it has to be torn apart and taken out of the basement. So now I'll get this glued in place. So I just made a paper template. Now I'll take that off and go cut it out of styrofoam. All right, well, this corner is done. I don't know yet how I'm going to cover this. I don't know if it's going to be a stone plaster wall or concrete. So right now it's just curved. It may stay curved, or it may get straight concrete wall sections. I'm just not sure yet. Okay, so we have a double track bridge right there. Then those tracks go over a very small bridge right there on the corner. Then it goes through, the track over on this side goes into switches that go to all these little buildings. But the track right here goes along here and it'll go over a bridge right here in the corner. And that other track will meet up, so it may be a double bridge right there. Then it's on here, and then there's a long bridge, a double track bridge right there that is split in the center so that both sides open up. So then that double track goes along, and the track closest to this wall here will service all those big garage doors. So I'll have cranes, maybe overhead cranes. Then it just loops. It loops, it comes out right here, or maybe through here, and goes back around. So this is where we're at so far. Now I want to clear this and get our styrofoam glued in place right here. And again, I'll cut it because I have a section right there. So I want it to be able to, if needed, I can cut it right through there. So all of the styrofoam on this side is glued in place. Next, what I'm going to do is take some blue paint and paint where the water is, just so that the bare wood is not showing. It helps me visualize it a little better, knowing where the water is. Now, I still don't have styrofoam in this section right here, but I am going to paint some water on both sides, and then later we'll cut a piece of foam that fits in here once we get that land figured out exactly where we want it. I am so excited about this entire scene. We'll have some concrete piers, maybe even wood piers on different levels. And then I want to have some large cranes out here that it's able to take stuff from off of ships or boats and then put it up onto here. Now keep in mind, there is a bridge that goes right through here that's split in the center and opens like this. So we'll probably have to have two large towers with chains that come down that lift that bridge in the center. And I'll have structures that go all along the back up on that level, and then it cuts across, and then there's big buildings out here also. So eventually that water will go underneath the structures and into a tunnel, and I may put a mirror in the back of that tunnel back here, so that when you do look back in there, you see the wall here, so it looks like it just goes on. Now right here, there will be a thin section that comes out, and it's maybe 3 feet long, and this is where Red Hook Wharf is going to be built. And then again, that track comes around and goes, I don't know if you can see over here, let me move the camera. So I had to add this little triangle shape in here because that track curves, goes right here, and then we'll go over that bridge over on this side. Now that track will come across, tie into this, and then loop and go back. And then we have another loop right here down on this level. I don't know if you can see the black Sharpie line. And then we have a bridge, a single track bridge right here. Now the road comes in right here, and then from this point the road turns and goes uphill and curves, and then eventually gets up to this level here, and then there'll be really tall buildings all in the background there. Now I still have to take all of this off and get styrofoam glued in place back here, and then we need to cut sort of a triangle shaped piece of styrofoam that is a shelf that sits up there, and it has to have some track that goes on it right there in the corner, just like we did over here, and I'll show you quick. So you can see right here where I put that shelf in. We'll do the same thing up in this corner. We'll make a shelf, a triangle shape, and that triangle shape will not be glued in place, because I'll actually, after I get the shape cut, I'll take it over to the workshop, build everything over there, put all the structures on it, and then carry it back over here and set it in place. Because it's going to be too hard for me to try to be up on a ladder and working back in that corner. So I'll just build it in the workshop and carry it over here and put it in place. So many of you have asked me how you can support the channel, and I finally set up a Patreon account. So if you like the videos I'm producing and would like to see more from me, please consider supporting the channel through Patreon, and I'll put a direct link in the description below the video, or you can simply go to Patreon and type in Jason Jensen Trains. And keep in mind, my last name does not have an O in it, it has an E. For those of you who are not familiar with Patreon, it is a great way to support creators. My Patreon page has 3 tier levels. So the first level, you donate $1 a month. The second tier level is $5 a month, and that gets your name at the end of every video. And the third tier level is $12 a month, and that gets your name at the end of every video, plus you get detailed photos of what I'm working on, either on my layout or on my workbench. So I would truly appreciate it. Any amount helps. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. We got a lot done in this video. I am so excited about things to come on this side of the layout. All right, well, like always, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.